After May 1945, when 6 million Jews were killed, the entire population, Jewish population of the United States, there's 6 million Jews in the US today. After the entire population of the Jewish population of the United States was slaughtered by the Nazis, we didn't go into refugee camps. We didn't ask anything from anyone. We formed a state in our historic homeland, and outside of Israel, the Jews got to work. We built museums about the Holocaust to educate people so they could see this atrocity could never happen again. We passed laws, we worked with state lawmakers, federal lawmakers, European lawmakers to try to outlaw anti-Semitism. For God's sake, today in Germany, if you hail Hitler, you get arrested. We've done everything we can. Yet here we are. October 7th, more than 1,400 of our own slaughtered. And like Maor said, my friend, who's been an incredible consul general, and we're so lucky to have you here, Maor, that the word brutality doesn't seem to be enough. We talk about the brutality of shooting a father, raping a mother, and putting the baby in the oven, like Eli Beer testified to this last week. Or slitting the pregnant belly open of a Jewish woman, pulling out the baby, stabbing the baby, and then stabbing the mother. The word brutality is not enough. And it reminds me of Elie Wiesel's book, Night, when he talks about being hungry. And he says, the word hunger does not properly describe what I feel, because there's no way that when they came up with the word hunger, anyone had ever felt what I'm feeling. And I think we all feel the same way about the brutality of October 7th, calling them terrorists, calling their acts brutal. It's just not enough. Everyone's talking about today whether there's going to be a second front of the war opening in the north of Israel. That's the big political question. It's going to open World War III. But from my perspective, this wasn't an attack on Israel. This was an attack on the Jewish people. And the second front against the Jewish people has been opened wide here in the United States and in Europe. Because for years we've been seeing this nuance, or we've been playing around with this fake nuance. They don't hate us, they hate the Prime Minister. They don't hate us, they hate the settlements in Judea and Samaria in the West Bank. They're not anti-Semitic, they're anti-Zionist. All of that nuance was nonsense. And they've proved it to us. In Cornell University, it came out yesterday, you might have seen it, a 21-year-old engineering student posted that when you see a Jew walk into class, slit his throat, because Jews are rats and vermin. That's an engineering student at Cornell. My friend's daughter's at Dartmouth. Yesterday she got a note under her door that says, about that party tonight, don't come, Jews are not welcome. Signed, everyone. And you can go university by university, state by state, it's happening everywhere. And there's nothing compared to what's happening on the streets of New York and Chicago. And that's nothing compared to what's happening in Russia. We saw the videos in Dagestan, where they heard that there might be a plane coming with Jews. So the Muslim population of that city, of that region, many, many hundreds, stormed the airport like hungry animals, rabid to try to kill a Jew. And they're saying it. They're chanting exactly those things in college universities. The mask has been ripped off. So from where I sit, the second front of the war has already been opened. It's a war on Jews all over the world. Now, last week I was honored to meet Maya and this incredible group. I was asked to take them to Washington to introduce them to members of Congress. Because before Congress has been able to vote on anything, because they haven't, there's been resolutions, which just means statements. But even the money for Israel, nothing's been voted on yet. But we've seen that the entire narrative has already changed. On October 7th, everybody supported Israel. October 8th, not so much. Why? Since there's no kids here, we can be open. Because people love seeing dead Jews. You know what people don't like? They don't like seeing Jews fight back. But fight back we will. And part of fighting back here in the United States and around the world outside of Israel is keeping October 7th in the conscience of the world. We're seeing these posters everywhere. And like Maya said, these aren't just names. And actually, I'm going to just do something. I'm sorry. I know everyone wants to go. This poster was up here. Ohad Yahalomi, 49 years old, kidnapped by Hamas. Ohad's brother-in-law was with us in Washington, Mark, telling the story of his family. Let me share it with you quickly. Ohad was with his family in the safe room. His wife, 𝗵𝗲𝗃, their 12-year-old, and their 20-month-old. When the terrorists came in, he stepped outside the mamad, the safety room, because it didn't have a lock, and he was able to fight valiantly against the terrorists in his house. He was wounded, and the terrorists took 𝗵𝗲𝗃 and the 20-month-old and put them on a motorcycle. And they put the 12-year-old son on another motorcycle. And they went side by side into Gaza. And they're riding into Gaza. She's in her pajamas with no shoes, holding her baby. And right before they get to the border, for some reason the motorcycle she's on falls. And in a moment of immense courage, she grabs her baby and she starts to run, while she sees the other motorcycle cross the border with her 12-year-old son. 𝗵𝗲𝗃 ran for 3 hours with her baby. Now, she couldn't run in the road. This is reported on, but not widely spoken about. She couldn't walk on the road or run on the road because there were hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these quote-unquote civilians from Gaza that were storming back and forth from the kibbutzes, walking back and forth, getting stuff, celebrating when they saw the terrorists taking people kidnapped. When 𝗵𝗲𝗃 got home, she thought she would find her husband, but he wasn't there. And the IDF was able to ping his phone. He's in Gaza as well, separate than his son. These are the stories. Every single one of these numbers, it's not a number. It's a story. It's a family. It's a life. But what are we going to do? I wish I had an answer. We've always learned that in every generation they stand up to destroy us. But we've also learned that the story of the Jewish people is riddled with tragedies. I was thinking today about a friend, an American who made Aliyah like 25 years ago to Tekoa. He was a director of Hillel at the University of Maryland. And he moved to Tekoa, and his 12-year-old son went for a hike with his friends. They skipped school. And his son, 𝗂𝗵𝗵𝗃𝗍, and his friend, both of them, I forgot the friend's name, I apologize, were caught by a group of Arab teenagers who killed them and beat them so badly with rocks that they had to be identified by their teeth. And there's some more gruesome details of how they were found that I'll spare the room. And I became friendly with his father, Seth. And Seth told me his dream his whole life was to move to Israel. He wanted to be part of the story of the Jewish people. But that he forgot that tragedy was such a big part of our story. But I'm here to tell you the same thing he told me, which is that although in every generation they rise to destroy us, and although that there's tragedies, although they're going to attack us, we're still here for a reason. We're still here also because we are Jews. because of the life we live. I saw a speech today of a non-religious man in Israel, and you know in Israel is a big divide between Chiloni and Dati and Charedi. And he said, they killed us because we're Jewish. Not because we're peaceniks in the South, or because we're young people that wanted to dance at a music festival, not because we were for the judicial reform or against the judicial reform. They killed us because we were Jewish. Similar to a speech I gave, to a talk I gave after the Pittsburgh massacre. And he said, if they're going to kill me because I'm Jewish, I'm going to live as a Jew. And I thought that was very powerful. So it's our obligation, everybody, yes, everybody has to give money. But everybody has to do something every single freaking day for the people of Israel, for the Jewish people. Because there's only 15 million Jews in the world today. It's the same number we were at before the Holocaust. That's it. 6 million here, 7 million in Israel. The rest scattered around in other countries. There's not enough of us to rely on anybody else. So I wish I had an inspiring way to end. I don't. I'm heartbroken like everybody else. But I do want everybody to know that we have to have strength. Because the only formula for victory in Israel is strength. The only way for peace in Israel is strength. But we should learn that in the diaspora, trying to change who we are so people hate us less is never going to work. The only thing that's going to work here in the diaspora is strength as well. So together we need to strengthen the Jewish community here and all over the world, and stand with Israel, and never be afraid to be who we are, which is proud Jews. Thank you.